Hey, Skippy. Want to say hi to everybody? Say hi. I'm feeling much better. Let's get on with our tag. Okay, go back to sleep. There you go. Hey everyone, welcome back. Today I'll be doing the Forgotten Books tag, a tag I have sort of forgotten about. I was tagged back in May by the lovely Liz over at Izziness89. This tag was created by Rick Teen Reads, and I will put links to both of their videos down below. The purpose of this tag is just to sort of share the books that you have forgotten about. You've bought in some time ago and just sort of neglected to read them, which is probably a majority of my books. I've got an entire bookcase here, and this whole shelf doubled up of books that are still waiting to be read, but I've kind of chosen the ones that have been sitting here much longer, anywhere from a couple years to maybe 2 decades. Yes, I have one that's probably 20 years it's been sitting here. But I'm not going to go into too much detail on most of these, except ones that maybe are really obscure and you haven't heard of, but for the most part I'll just be showing them to you and just sharing you some of my forgotten books. So, the first batch of them are quite a few Doctor Who books that I bought several years ago. Probably we're talking about 4 or 5 years ago now. And, yeah, I just kind of picked them up when they were available. I even have, like, probably about 7 or 8 more up on this shelf, and I just kind of pulled some of them out. But, yeah, so I have Doctor Who, Prisoner of the Daleks, The 10th Doctor, David Tennant, one of my favorites, Ghost of India with Donna Noble. These are these smaller format hardcovers that they came out with. This is The Story of Martha. Shining Darkness, another Donna Noble one. The Eyeless. The Doctor Trap. And Beautiful Chaos. And one of the newer format ones they're coming out with now, you can see they're a little bit larger, a little bit thinner. And this is Touched by an Angel, and this has got Rory and Amy in the 11th Doctor, and I love the stories with the angels. These are so creepy creatures. But again, I've been sitting on it for years. I would love to have like the whole collection of all those, but they take up a lot of space, and they finally started coming out with them as, I think, ebooks for the Kindle. So if you're interested in reading some of those books, you might want to check them out as ebooks. The next bunch I have are some adult fiction. I used to watch this gardening show called Ground Force, and it was a show where they would go in, and within 2 days they would redo someone's front or back garden, kind of as a surprise. Like some other family member would have them come in and describe what this person was looking for in a garden, and 2 days later they would redo it. I believe they even, if I recall, did Nelson Mandela's garden, which was amazing. So yeah, this is Alan Titchmarsh, and he writes a series of really lighthearted adult fiction. I've read a couple of his, and I enjoyed them, and probably a nice, good summer read. This is Only Dad, The Lighthouse Keeper, and Animal Instincts. These are probably, let's see, this was copyrighted in 2000, so I'm sitting on my shelf around 13 years, maybe a little less. I probably bought them a little bit afterwards. Ooh, 1999. Oh, in fact, that's Alan Titchmarsh. I don't know if he also writes for Gardener's World magazine or something. 2001. Yeah. The next couple of books I picked up at my grocery store. They used to have a small little section of mass markets, and a couple of these sounded pretty interesting. The first one is by Sean Hudson. It's called Hybrid, and that's the book. A little mass market. This one I've had, let's see, oh yeah, about 11 years. It sounded really interesting. I'll read this one really quick. It says, the good times for writer Christopher Ward are over. Struggling to complete his latest novel, he finds himself sucked into a vicious spiral. The further into the book he gets, the harder it becomes. The harder it becomes, the quicker he slides into depression and alcoholism. Then incidents begin. How is it that he rarely works, and yet day after day he finds whole chapters of his novel completed? And what are the things he sees at night? Are they dreams or apparitions? Alone in his house and with the decaying confines of his own mind, Ward is pushed to the very edge of sanity. As a writer, Ward has always explored the darker side of the human mind. Now it's time for him to experience that darkness for real. For when the final revelations begin, Ward discovers the truth more terrifying than anything dredged from the most twisted imagination. So, sounds pretty creepy. I like this glowing eye on the back. But, it grabbed my attention and then forgot all about it. The next one is by R.D. Wingfield. It's Winterfrost, and it's a Detective Inspector Jack Frost novel. I used to watch the series on TV. I guess they had some books out on this. This is some of the other books in the series. Touch of Frost, Night Frost, Hard Frost, etc., etc. Just really enjoyed the show and wanted to read a novel, and then I never did. Yeah, 1999. So sad. And this one sounded really cool, too. This is by Harold Schechter. He's actually the author of several true crime novels. Not true crime books, I should say. And this is called The Humbug. And it's sort of a historical whodunit. And it features Edgar Allan Poe as a detective. I thought that sounds really cool, and I'm a big Poe fan, so I thought, yeah, why not? There's also another one in this series called Nevermore. How appropriate. And I only had this one, though, and I was really excited to read it, and then it just sat there for quite some time. 2001, so about 12 years. Oh boy. Then, along the lines of adult fiction as well, I read the series. It's actually a trilogy, the Agnes Brown trilogy by Brendan O'Carroll, about a young woman growing up in Dublin, Ireland in the 60s. And this is sort of the prequel to that trilogy, about her when she was in the 40s. It's got humor in there, too, and some touching, sad moments and things. But, yeah, I was looking forward to it when I saw this come out, and I've sat on it for 10 years. Came out in 2003. Oh boy. And I'm a big fan of the show Primeval, and it's kind of a sci-fi show about these anomalies that open up and things from the past, like dinosaurs and stuff, come through and invade England and everything, and then they start popping up all over the world. And it was a really, really cool show. I really enjoyed it, and they had a series of books out, and this is one of them. It's Primeval Fire and Water by Simon Guerrier. I absolutely love this guy in the show. And these are some of the other characters that are in it. And yeah, there's the one of the dinosaurs. It's really cool. Some really cool effects on it. And 2009. Still haven't gotten to it. Then I had an advanced copy I had gotten at work by Josh Bazell, Beat the Reaper. This was coming out in 2009, September. So it's been sitting on my shelf for some time as well. Yep, just haven't gotten to it. Then, sad to say, more Doctor Who. This is a novella, well, it's a novella called Time and Relative by Kim Newman. And it's a story that takes place before the whole Doctor Who series started. And it deals with the Doctor's supposed granddaughter, Susan Foreman, when she's at Coal Hill School back in 1963. That's not how old the book is, though. Let's see. I have a date here somewhere. Yep, 2001 was a copyright, and I know I got this one. It was brand new. So 12 years later, this tiny little book of some, let's see, 120 pages, and it's still sitting there. That's sad. Probably the one I've had the longest, the one I mentioned about 20 years or so. Classic. Something I thought I'd be interested in reading. I was curious about it. And it's The Plague by Albert Camus. Yeah, it's really old cover design. They've gone through quite a few different ones. This is the Modern Library College edition. And yeah, I've been sitting on this one for, I'd say, at least 20 years. Never got around to it. And the final book I picked, this one I got just because it was really curious format to it. It seemed really interesting. It's sort of a almost solve-it-yourself type mystery. And it's called Personal Effects, Dark Art, and it's by J.C. Hutchins and Jordan Weissman. And this says Follow the Clues. And this is sort of almost like a box that it comes in. Here's the book. It's actually attached to it, and it has Lots of illustrations throughout the book. Crime or solving puzzles all the way throughout the book. And then in this half, right here, there's a little pocket which you can pull out all of this stuff. And that's what kind of intrigued me, was all this stuff. Oops, all this stuff everywhere. There's like driver's license, credit card, and medical card. And these are all clues, kind of things left behind. A business card, a fake Visa, and there's photos and letters and things. And apparently there's a phone number on here as well. And the back of the book says, read Zack Taylor's notes, call the phone numbers, explore the websites. The patient's file you are holding represents the strangest case I've ever seen. A blind psychic serial killer with a secret past matching wits with an art therapist whose refusal to give up on his patient borders on obsession. Along the way are love triangles, conspiracies, ghosts, and more twists than a suspense movie. Follow up on everything to determine how the personal effects collected by Zack Taylor relate to the case. So, I mean, it sounded really cool, and I was really intrigued by it. I thought it might be kind of fun to try and solve your own, solve the crime or whatever it is. And then I never read it. Let's see if I can find a copyright on this one, because I've been sitting on this one for a bit too. First edition. This is 2009. So, again, just collecting dust on my shelf. Pretty sad. So, that's just some of the books I chose for this Forgotten Books tag. I want to thank Liz for tagging me, and Our Teen Reads over for creating this tag. It's really original. I'm not going to really tag anybody. I think this has been floating around for a while. If you guys want to do it, go ahead and let me know down below if you've done it, or just put a list of some of the books you have kind of forgotten on your shelves, and maybe add them to your TBR. These are all in my TBR jar, so who knows? Maybe the next time I pull one out of here, it might be one of these books, and we'll finally say, yay, you remembered to read us. So, thanks for watching. Bye-bye.